Take at this, and that's how the aliens built the pyramids. It's all connected, people.
The new chat. There's the chat. Yay, the new chat's on the screen. How are we, guys? What's up, Bilal? How are you, Chino, formerly known as Justin Kennedy? Good to see you, mate. How are you, James? I'm going to touch you. I'm going to touch you, James, and there's nothing you can do about it, son. What's up, Bilal? How are you, man? I hope you guys are surviving this heat wave happening in Australia right now. What is up, Blanca? How are you? Hello, Noob Cake. How are you? Hello, Combat Catholic. What's good, man? What's good? What's good? What's good? Currently standing outside taking a piss. Well, that's good to know, Bilal. Got your schlong out? Got your dick in one hand and your phone in the other hand? That's good to know, brother. What's up, Paul? How are you, man? Shout out to my New Zealand brothers. Shout out to Chile. Shout out to America. What's up, Lord of the Pies? How are you, man? I used to like him. Who did you used to like, Lord of the Pies? It's 45 degrees today. Hopefully we're going to get a shirtless stream. Luckily, it's not too bad in my office today. The air conditioner seems to be penetrating deep into my office. How are you, Muzzo? What's good, man? What's cracking, Muzzo? What's up, brother? What's up, James? You take that shirt off? Maybe I will take that shirt off if it continues to heat up, but we shall see. How are you, Damien? Good to see you. I'm in the house. Did you see Paddy Pimblett lost his last fight? Did he? Did Paddy lose his last fight? I didn't catch that, Combat Catholic. When did that happen? I'll have to go and watch that. I did not see that, Combat Catholic. It's 26 degrees in Newey. What a heat wave, brother. Okay, in Newcastle, it's only 26 degrees. Well, in Victoria today, it's going to be up in the 40 degrees. It's going to be pretty bad. So, yeah, no work today. Dougie does not work the tools, the trades on a 40-degree day. Oh, no, sir. Oh, no, we do not, sir. No, sir. We ain't doing that, sir. How are you, Just Car for Life? Good to see you, man. I hope that you are well. How often are UFC events? Every weekend, Noob Cake. Every weekend. And if you think that's enough, it isn't enough. Because when it's not on every weekend, we cry about it. Because we have nothing else in our lives except for the UFC. It is all that brings us together, Noob Cake. So yeah, as you guys know, Noob Cake doesn't know because, well, she's new here. But as you guys know, there is going to be another UFC event this weekend. It's going to be in Australia. All the boys, every single fight on the card is featuring an Australian. Are my picks going to be cooked? Yes, they are. Yes, my picks are going to be cooked. Am I going to be picking against any of the Australians? Probably only Tai Tuivasa. But this isn't my pick stream, so let's not worry about that. Let us not worry about that. I filmed an excellent video for you guys, a really banger of a video. I spent all morning crafting this video. I think this video is going to be great. So this video is going to release after today's live stream. As for the news and what is happening, we have confirmation that Arman did fractured Dan Hooker's nose at UFC Qatar. I'm sure the UFC are very aware that Arman Tsarukyan did damage to Dan Hooker's nose, and this is another thing that is going onto the list of why Arman Tsarukyan isn't going to be getting a title shot anytime soon and why they're so angry at him, which I don't love, but it is what it is, and we are where we are, and now that I am an Arman Tsarukyan fan, I want him to get his goddamn title shot. You know? Was Justin fighting dirty or was I tweaking? No, James. Justin was fighting dirty. The missus, the old ball and chain, the old missus. Bloody loves Justin Gaethje. Loves Paddy Pimblett, and she is fucking furious at Justin Gaethje. And after I spent the week before the fight walking around the house saying, I am girthy, I am Justin Gaethje, I am girthy again and again and again, she is very angry at me and seems to be taking out all of her anger on me. She seems to be treating me as if I am Justin Gaethje, which, you know, isn't my fault. I did convince her that I was indeed Justin Gaethje. Noob Cake starting to realize that this is a cult. Yeah, MMA is essentially a cult. Exactly right, Paul. Noob Cake is a she. Noob Cake is a she, but we don't treat her as a she because she came in here pretending that she was a D. So now we're just going to keep pretending that she was a D. It's like 115 degrees Fahrenheit for those that do not use the superior unit of measuring. Exactly right. For all you degenerates and lowlifes over there in the States that are still using the inferior way of measuring temperature, it's about 155 degrees Fahrenheit today. I have got a fan pointed directly at my testicles. How are you, loyalty in this business? I hope that you're well, mate. Dan Hooker absolutely starches BSD in about 20 seconds. That's another one who I think I'm probably going to be going with BSD. Sorry, Muzzo. Justin didn't fight dirty. He fought American. American, brother. That was for America. Yeah, that's a dirty fight. She might not like Eric. She asked why he looks so evil in the intro. Well, because when Eric gets here, she'll know. She'll know. She'll learn in good time, as they often do with Eric. You'll pick against Malarkey as well. I will pick against Jamie Malarkey. He never wins his fights. What is up, Alex? Good to see you. You beautiful, beautiful bastard. How are you, mate? What is up, Mitch? What is up, Trip? How is everybody? How are you, Mitch? The Don Dougie. What's good? How are you, bro? I'm good, mate. I've got a great video coming out in an hour and 20 minutes after this live stream. A real cracker of a video I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy. Who do you pick in Quaylen versus Malarkey if you're only picking the Aussies? I'm picking a draw. It's going to be a draw. A war, 15 minutes, back and forth, bloody affair, and the rounds are going to be a draw. It's going to be a 10-8 in the first, and then 2 rounds to Malarkey. It'll be a Malarkey 10-8 in the first, while Quaylen is shocked that Malarkey's coming so hard at him, and then Quaylen will inch back the next 2 rounds, and it's going to be a draw, and it's going to be fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal. Every Aussie Kiwi is going to be a round 1 KO in my predictions. It's going to happen, bro. Trust. Trust the plan, brother. Trust. Tai Tuivasa is going to get fucking cooked. Cooked. Do you also knee your missus in the crutch and stick your thumb in her eye? Sometimes when she's being a naughty girl, I will fucking eye gouge her. Lower, woman. Lower. So every now and then I'll give her a bit of an eye gouging, but, you know, she deserves it and she knows what she's done. How are you, Trip? Good to see you, man. I wasn't pretending to be the guy. I just didn't say anything. That is true, Noob Cake. Very true. Fine, I'll say it. Lopez chins Volk in the rematch. No, he doesn't. Alex? No, he does not. I kind of forgot that this was even a pay-per-view this weekend. It feels like it's just a fight night card. We'll get it. We'll get the vibes going as the week goes off. Dougie, did you enjoy your Australia day? I did, Blanca. I got so drunk on the beach, Blanca. You have no idea. Oh my God, did I drink. And my friends came down and we took the barbecue onto the beach and we drank and we drank and we drank. Oh my Lord, did we drink. It was a wonderful day. Is UFC 325 the best card of all time? It just might be. Absolutely not, Muzzo. Absolutely not even close. It pains me, but Hooker is done against BSD. I think so. Ban Alex. You know what? Maybe we will ban Alex. Maybe we will ban Alex, the bloody dog of a thing. Right, so I've got some content planned for today because there really isn't much to break down when it comes to the news cycle. We got Dan Hooker talking about how Arman Tsarukyan did break his nose, but really, what else can we say about that? What else can we say? We've got Dana White defending the ads that happened at UFC 324. What can we say about that? Ariel Helwani thinks that they're going to do Paddy Pimblett versus Conor McGregor, which I think is insane. I don't think they'll do Paddy Pimblett versus Conor McGregor. Islam Makhachev and Kamaru Usman is verbally agreed for the White House. What the fuck? That Zuffa Boxing up front, but no, that is not official. Join the official Zuffa Boxing page. That's not official at all. This is just bullshit. Just bullshit. Just bullshit. Just bullshit. Sources are telling me Ilia Topuria is getting stripped and it's going to be Justin Gaethje versus Conor McGregor. No, none of this is true. Yeah, so the content that I've got planned for us today, which will be nice and fun, is I will be reopening, which I don't think we'll stick to. I've just had a loose idea about this. We'll reopen this and see if you guys want anyone's legacy moved around, if you guys are unhappy with anyone's legacy, because I did say we would finish the list and then we would take one final look at the list. So if anyone has got any solid arguments about where people are placed on the list, please let me know. However, if we do not go ahead with that and we're a little bit sick about talking about the legacy list and we will jump over to something else, I think we could do the best forward pressure fighters in the UFC right now tier list. Who are the best forward pressure fighters in the UFC right now? That is a tier list that we could tackle right now. So I'm going to read some chats and then we'll get into the day's content. Yes. I got shit-faced the night of the fights and the day after I still feel like shit. That is the problem, James, with drinking when you're over 27. To be honest, I noticed over 27, the next day is really bad. And then even the day after that is really bad. So life is not good. Life is not good when you've been drinking too much. 1 hour Arman Glaze stream. That's a great idea. Maybe I'll just do an hour stream going over Arman Sarukian's best moments that he had during the Christmas break. That's a really good idea. So is he out? No, Dan Hooker is not out, but he did have his nose fractured by Arman Sarukian. Just based and insane as Arman Sarukian. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Blanca. No, Dan Hooker broke his nose on the headbutt against Arman. It's old news, really. Well, that only came out today in the muzzo, so I don't know how it's old news, mate. Funky Master should not be on this list. Yeah, I mean, is Funk Master the real hole here that we're not enjoying? Aljamain Sterling on this list? Have we got a problem with Aljamain Sterling? Where is Aljo? Where is he? 4 title wins, 1 Legends win. Can you name someone in the UFC that has got a better legacy than Aljamain Sterling that we could use to boot him off this list? I mean, he was being considered as one of the greatest bantamweights of all time. You know? So we got to think about that. Where is Mark Hunt? So much bullshit. I don't think Mark Hunt even got a belt, mate. I could go for some Outlast. We're not going to do Outlast today. It's an MMA stream and an MMA channel. We're going to do MMA today. If I ever do another metered stream, which I'll probably end up doing on Friday this week, another metered stream, we might do Outlast there. S tier for Torres Finney for forward pressure. Fuck off. No. Torres Finney gets nothing. Why do people keep believing Dan has openly lied countless times for the hell of it? Where, how? What has Dan Hooker said that's a lie, Toad? What has Dan Hooker said that's a lie? Please let me know. The IV thing, Ali pretty much confirmed it. Ali said he's allowed to have IV backstage. And then everyone went, not in Australia, he isn't. Best forward pressure fighter is Damian Maia, Dalby, Brito, Topuria, and Gene Silva. Ooh, I like this a lot. These are really good stuff. Let me get open my UFC fighter rankings. UFC athletes, and let's get some fighters going. UFC athletes. And let's get this moving. Yes, Dalby face first. I love that. UFC.com fighters. Here are all filters. All right, here's what we want to filter out. No, we do not want. We only want active fighters. Yes, only active fighters. We do not want any women's. We do not want any women's fighters at all. So we want flyweight. We want bantamweight. Featherweight. Yep, you know them. You know all the weight classes, guys. You get them. You understand the weight classes. Where is my? There we go. That. I should have done this before I started the stream, knowing that we were going to be doing this. There we are. We're nearly done now. Look at me just clicking buttons. What a fun stream this is for all of you, watching me just clicking buttons. Right, this is every single active fighter in the UFC. 800. How many? 807 active men's fighters in the UFC. This is all of them. Absolute insanity. Best forward pressure fighter is Lewis versus Ngannou. Shut up, random username. The ones who know, know. The ones who know, know. Sean Strickland, DDP, Pereira, Aspinall, and Marab. Ooh, I don't know if I would have Sean Strickland that far up as forward pressure. Jeez. I guess he does march forward, doesn't he? But I don't... Fuck, I don't love having Sean Strickland on this list. Let me introduce you to my boy, Adesanya. Boy, does he rumble. Adesanya is all backwards pressure. He runs away. For real, though, Josh Van has got to make this list. Well, we got some people going now, so let's go with Dalby. Let's get Dalby's face up in here. I do like Dalby. I do like Nicholas Dalby a lot. A lot. He will just march into the fire with no regard of how bad he is going to get hurt. I don't mind that one at all. That's a good shout, that one is. That's a very, very good shout. I don't know about A tier yet, but let's just move him around. Also, there is no one giving me any other suggestions for Aljamain Sterling over on the GOAT list, huh? Sean Strickland, DDP Pereira. Damn, jeez, Sean Strickland. I don't know. I'll chuck him on here. We'll get his face going. I would say Dalby is more forward pressure than Sean Strickland is, just by the way. I'd put Dalby ahead of Sean Strickland. Maybe it's just because I don't like Sean Strickland's style. I think it's very, like, defensively safe, you know, but he does march forward. For real though, Josh Van has got to make this list. We'll get Josh Van on him. We'll get Josh Van going. We'll talk about Josh Van. Oh, let me put him down here so I don't forget. You guys make some great suggestions, so I'll just put the names down there. CM Punk walked forward 90% of his entire career. That's true, Chino. CM Punk did just sort of mindlessly walk forward. Do you remember CM Punk's when he first came out of the gate? The hop that he did? So weird, man. Strickland always walks forward. He does always walk forward, doesn't he? Adesanya, Sean O'Malley, and Paddy Pimblett. Ah, Toad, you understand the game by doing the opposite. Nate the Train, baby, in the UFC. Nate the Train in the UFC, baby. Nate the Train. Man, we love Nate. When is Nate fighting again? I feel like we haven't seen Nate the Train in ages, man. How long has it been since we saw Nate the Train? I'm putting Nate well above Sean. I don't like Sean. I don't know why. I don't like him on this list. I know he forward pressures, marches forward, but for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why I don't like him. Let me check out Nate the Train's Tapology. Just 1 second. I need to know when the last time we saw him was. When are we going to see him again? Nate Landwehr, baby, of the UFC. Morgan Charrier, July 2025. That's right. That was a close fight between him and Morgan Charrier. I thought it was 50-50 going into the third round, and then Charrier just fucking turned it on at the end and drowned Nate the Train. God damn, man. How old are you, Nate? 37. Oh, it's over, boys. The great run of Nate the Train is over. I hate that, man. Nate the Train has to be on this list. No, that was a good one. That was a good one. Yuri is S tier. I don't think there's a better forward pressure fighter than Yuri Prohaska. That is what we are talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about right there. We need to, you know what? We need to glorify Yuri with his own special picture. We can't just be having some bullshit photo for Yuri. No stock standard photos for old Yuri. Yeah, he gets something special. Very, very special, does our Yuri. Yeah. Blood, violence, marching forward. That is one of the most top forward pressure fighters in the UFC. If you ever did see one, mate. If you ever did see one. Ilya is number one by far, I can't lie. Ilya's definitely got forward pressure. However, number one by far, I don't think so. I mean, Ilya's absolutely got that marching forward pressure, hunting you down, trying to cut off the cage really well. Ilya Tapturo. Ilya Tapturo. Come to Barbea, Bo. Come to Barbea, Come to Barbea. When is he getting back in there, man? I know on his Instagram he said he'd be back in like April or June or July or some shit, but it's not up to him, is it? All right, let's actually rank these guys, right? Like, is Ilya more forward pressure than Sean? I would say so. Does he march into the fire more than Nate the Train and Dalby? I would say so. He does march into the fire. This is true. We're going to need to start getting some people in B, C, and D tier. We are going to need to start moving some people around. What is up, Two Smelly Fingers? How are you, brother? Brother, stay on for the hour and a half, or just pop back on in an hour and a half. I'll message you and DM you, and I'll give you a phone call, mate, on Instagram, and we'll open the package that you sent me together, one-on-one on a bit of a video call. Won't that be fun? Won't that be a fun little thing to do? Hey, Dougie, what? Yeah, we did that one. Oh my God, how did I miss Yuri? Well, W by Bilal's got it. That was a great one, but there's a reason I've brought up like just an entire list of all the active fighters in the UFC, and I'm just going to scroll through it, having a look at every single one. This is every single fighter in the UFC that is active right now. 807 athletes. We're just going to scroll through it, and I'm going to rank them all. I'm going to rank them all on how forward pressure they are. Aren't I insane? What an insane man I am. Jailton Almeida, forward pressure. How forward pressure is Jailton Almeida? Not forward pressure at all. He's going on the asshole end of the list. Right down here is Jailton Almeida. Right there. Right there. Down in hell, in asshole level. Let me read some chats, boys. Does the forward pressure have to be successful? No. Not really. I don't think it does. Random username alphabet. I don't think it does. Max Holloway is absolutely going on this list for sure. Actually, Max Holloway is probably going to be B tier, C tier, because Max Holloway is very like dance around the outside and pop the jab and the spinning wheel kick. He's not really like march forward. Can we just change the stipulation from the best to the most violent? And with you, Sean Strickland has got to go. Yeah, I'm putting Sean Strickland like down here for now. I don't love his forward pressure. Yuri is the embodiment of war. He literally is the embodiment of war. Nick and Nate Diaz walked forward even while getting pieced up. It's true, but we're going to go with in the UFC currently. Pantoja is very forward pressure. I like that shout a lot. We'll put Pantoja here. Steve Garcia as well. I love me some Steve Garcia. He's my little underdog this year, although he's sort of broken out of that. Where I had him last year, I felt like I was the only one that knew Steve Garcia was going to be a problem. I feel like now that he's main evented, he's broken out of that, and the hardcores are a little bit more switched on. But yeah, Steve Garcia was my little sleeper agent down there. Yuri is retarded with his forward pressure. Ilya is the most educated with it. He's easily number one. It doesn't need to be educated. It just needs to be fucking marching forward. What is this? Another one of Dougie's horrible lists. Exactly right, Super Shotgun. And it's good to see you, man. How are you, brother? Robert Lawler, again, in the UFC right now. We'll go with in the UFC right now. Let us put it on the screen so I don't have to keep repeating myself. Not of all time. In the UFC currently. This is the stipulations of what we are doing right now. Where am I up to? Pour hot candle wax on the like buttons for its hard little nipples. There you go. That's true, Two Smelly Fingers. Pour some hot wax on the like button, boys, so it has sticky and hard nipples. Things are getting weird. I am in the S tier, by the way. Noob Cake, you've never even watched a fight, let alone been in one. What about Alexander Volkanovski? Alexander Volkanovski is an interesting one. Probably B tier. He sort of is on the back foot a little bit more these days. He does launch forward, but I would say Volk is a little bit more on the back foot these days. Morgan Chattier, RDR, Jimmy Crute, battling his way through fucking everything. Jimmy Crute is not forward pressure. He runs away into the bathrooms to hide. Steve Garcia is a good one. I was today years old when I found out you spell poor with a U. Well, there you go. You got a U and a paw. Strickland is in poopy tier. He might be in poopy tier. The only list where Ilya Delby and Nate the Trainer are on the same tier. Well, we've only just started, Nico, and don't worry, we're going to go through every single fucking fighter in the UFC. Okay, so don't worry about it, mate. There's hours and hours and hours of this list to go. Arnold Allen. He's another one that's going to be going down on the list. Arnold Allen is not going to be going very high on the list at all. He is another one of these back foot fighters. Although he is more forward pressure than Jailton Almeida. So I'll put Arnold Allen there. Slightly ahead of Jailton Almeida, but we're going to mix it up a little bit. Robert Law, what are we doing? Silva and Lopez both march people down. This is true. Silva and Lopez do both march people down. I'll put them on there for me to get to a little bit later. Has to be active, unfortunately. Robbie Lawler is fucking amazing. Prime Matt Brown was the GOAT pressure brawler. We do love old Prime Matt Brown. Matt Brown has finally retired, hasn't he? The immortal Matt Brown. He has finally retired. That's right. He sits on his podcast. Where is Patchy Mix on this list? Oh, all the way down in asshole tier. Mitch, all the way down there. Gaethje's whole mentality was this fight is a champion's walk forward. That is true. We have got to address Justin Gaethje right now. I don't want to even beat around the bush with this one. Jeez, is Justin Gaethje more forward pressure? Ooh. Is Justin Gaethje more forward pressure than Yuri Prohaska, chat? This is an interesting question now. Hang on a second now, chat. Hold on now, chat. Hold on now, chat. You will just hold on to your damn horses now, chat. Hang on a second. Things have just gotten a little bit tasty. Justin Gaethje does always like to march forward. He only wins fights in the collar tie. Yuri is more forward pressure, you reckon? I've seen Yuri stand on the outside and try and be rangy. I've seen Yuri trying to play that range game before. Justin literally doesn't have a range game. Yuri's more violent, but Justin seems to be more forward pressure in his fights. Where Yuri, he doesn't mind a bit of kickboxing on the outside, slamming the body into the legs, slamming the body into the body. For real though, Oliveira is going to be on his list. The way he walks forward gets clipped his entire mantra. This is true. Like, he doesn't mind if he gets knocked down to the ground. Very true. Nate the Train in the UFC, baby. Nate the Train in the UFC. The like button is a freak. You don't know this, brother. The kink shame. The like button is a freak. Kink shame the like button, says Two Smelly Fingers. I've seen Noob Cake fight. It's nasty pressure. All right, Noob Cake's been in a scrap board too. I've watched some of the fights last event. That is true, Noob Cake. Sorry. Best sort by male fighters on the roster list. I've got it sorted. I've literally got it sorted. They're all there. They're all there. It's all, men. My bad. Men. Oh, now I've got to reset my fucking filter. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked it. This is why the UFC's website is so dog shit. Not fighting. No, we want just active. 8 filters. Active. Men. Filters. No. If you apply filters, you can't select between just men and women. $1.1 billion a year, ladies and gentlemen. $1.1 billion a year. You can't filter via men and... Surely you can filter via men and women. Active filters. Filter. I have actually filtered via men and women because I've only selected the men's divisions. I haven't selected any of the women's divisions. So actually... I have filtered by. It's not the UFC, it's me. I'm an idiot. But we knew that, chat, didn't we? We knew that I was the idiot. Let me read some more chats. Dougie doesn't even know about my martial arts skills. The Noob Cake, you have none, mate. Joel Alvarez, Esteban Ribovic. Ooh, I like these. Joel Alvarez is a bit karate-esque, though, isn't he? Isn't Joel Alvarez a little bit karate-esque when it comes down to it? I don't know about Joel Alvarez. I think he's a bit on the outside. I'll have a think about that. Matt Brown, second most knockouts in UFC history. Put some respect on his name. I do respect Matt Brown, thank you. I did respect Matt Brown very much. Andrew Joblé, lightweight, sir. Andrew Joblé. Yuri is more. Yuri is something else. For real, though, Oliveira is going to be on this list. He walks forward and gets clipped his entire mantra. This is true. When Gaethje gets rocked, he is actually smart and backs up. Yuri walks forward with the axe sticking out of his neck. This is true. This is true. So Yuri, I don't know. I feel like Yuri might be behind Justin. I think he is. I think Yuri is slightly behind Justin. I do, man. Manuel Torres, kinda. What about the fighter matrix? Oh, we'll do it, dude. We've got all week. We'll do a Diego Lopez fighter matrix later this week. I'm sorry, Doug. I forgot to sell $1 billion company. It is truly dog shit. True. Conor and the UFC are in drama again. Yes, they are. Conor McGregor thinks his contract is void because there is no longer pay-per-view, and Dana White think that is the most ridiculous thing ever. And Dana White is correct. Your contract is not void. We're just going to work out something else. This is Conor McGregor and Dana White going at it again. Excuse you, I am dangerous. Sure you are, Noob Cake. I'm dangerous. I am. I'm a little dangerous girl. How bad is Derek Lewis? Derek Lewis is pretty damn bad. I've been calling him... What have I been calling Derek Lewis all week in my videos? I referenced it again today. Bob Carr? That one fighter from Pride who just fights for one fight only and then he's done. Bob Catter? It's not Bob Catter. That's an Australian Prime Minister. I don't remember, but I put it in my video today. Bob Sapp. That was the one. Thank you very much. Yeah, Derek Lewis has become Bob Sapp. Yeah. Yeah, he fights for 1 round. I mean, we know this now. This was the pick going into it. Derek Lewis, he'll give you 1 round. You better enjoy that 1 round. If he doesn't get the finish in the first round, just give me a little nick there on the chin, and down I go like a fucking tree. That's essentially Derek Lewis in 2026. Is he going to win the first round or isn't he? That's it. Second round, Derek Lewis is getting his fat, sweaty black ass out of there. Justin's walkout was fire. It was really good. I really enjoyed that, man. Noob Cake sleeps Angel Jablee. Yeah, of course Noob Cake can sleep Angel Jablee, but any of us can sleep Angel Jablee. I mean, come on, man. We all know this to be true, brother. Any of us can sleep Angel Jablee. Ricky Tercios. I hate Ricky Tercios. He's going to go down an asshole tier as well. Sean O'Malley is going to sit out and wait for another title shot because of course he is. Yes, so Sean O'Malley talked about this. He was asked if they do give the title shot to Merab, who absolutely deserves it, are you going to have another fight? Are you going to sit around and wait? And Sean O'Malley just went and said, I'm good, buddy. I'm good. The hard R. I didn't say the hard R. Thank you very much. I didn't say it this time. Michael Johnson's workout was fire. Absolute fire. Lewis literally capitalized at the legs and went upside down into beetle. Just collapsed at the leg. Capsized is that word. It's my dyslexia. It's not you, Davidson Figueiredo's fan page. Derek Lewis literally just capsized at the legs and went down into beetle guard. He went into full Anthony Smith mode. It was in the second round and something lightly brushed his teeth. Down he goes. Bob Sapp, because they're both big black beasts? No, because they both take dives. Now, I don't think they're taking dives in a way where they're like throwing the fight so their mates can make money on it. I mean, they're taking dives as in they don't want to go on for another round. Prime Bob Sapp was scary, to be fair. Beat Estimo Host twice in kickboxing and gave Prime Nogueira the fight of his fucking life. The fight of his life. Do you know what I was watching as I was going to sleep last night? Super shotgun. I was once again watching Napoleon Bonaparte's documentary, Heroes of Bastards, or Bastards of Heroes, or something like that. Anyway, it was the men's lineal heavyweight title from 2005 to 2015. Great documentary. If you haven't seen it, go and check out Napoleon Bonaparte's documentary called Bastards of Heaven, I believe it's what it's called. If a fighter doesn't stick to their contract, what is the worst that can happen? They can't fight anywhere else in any other organization. The UFC just has control over their rights forever. This is why GSP can't fight anyone. How are you, Jock? Good to see you, man. I hope that you are doing well. Has Musical snorted his egg yet? I showed my dad all the funny Derek Lewis moments, and he started liking them and then completely flipped his opinion when he saw him fight. That's a very Derek Lewis experience. Like, we enjoy Derek Lewis being Derek Lewis until he gets in there and the second round starts, and then you go, oh my god, this guy has no heart. You can't even say Anthony Smith mode. Like, Smith would have tried to wrestle up or at least get a 1-2. You know what? Anthony Smith would have done quite well on this tier list that we're doing today because Anthony Smith is very forward pressure. Now, he doesn't strike. He just lazily has his guard up and allows you to elbow through the center of it. But he does walk forward until eventually he is so concussed he can no longer stand up anymore. So Anthony Smith would have actually done well on today's little tier list, right? Lewis paid homage to the Lionheart. Go easy on him, guys. He's texting. He just misses his brother, the Lionheart. He misses his brother. And what did you learn? Nothing. I've seen it before. I just enjoyed chucking it on. It's just got funny memes and references, and it's nostalgic. So yeah, I didn't learn nothing, mate. I've seen it. I think I've seen like literally every single Napoleon Blown Apart and Mixed Martial Academic video and MMA on Point video fucking ever. I've seen them all. Derek Lewis is the heavyweight Michael Johnson. He really is, man. He really, really is. Egg is being snorted on Wednesday, currently finishing up the song he has to play while snorting the egg. That is disgusting. Guys, make sure to check out MMA Musical's channel. He's one of the most old school members of the UFC MMA community online that we have on YouTube. He's the one that originally came up with the MMA Guru jingle. I just want to smoke weed and listen to the Guru. The MMA Guru, as well as other great jingles. And on Wednesday, he is going to be snorting an egg live on YouTube. So make sure you get over to Musical MMA, subscribe to his channel. Lewis is the biggest quitter in UFC history, even worse than Anthony Smith. He's scamming a big contract from the UFC. He is. I know. It's great. Like, Derek Lewis literally just wants to show up, say some funny shit at the press conference, throw a big meaty hook. If it doesn't work, Out he go. Oh, down I go, man. Whoop-de-doo. Arman low-key a bitch for that headbutt. What the fuck are you doing throwing away a free title shot? Yeah, I know, Ali. It was very, very dumb. Very dumb. But this is why I like Arman Tsarukyan, because he's a fucking savage and just does whatever he wants. He doesn't give a fuck. I actually really enjoy Arman Tsarukyan. I've become an Arman Tsarukyan fan. However, him doing the headbutt, craziness, man. Paddy zero pocket boxing is shameful. Tell me about it, Johnny. Did you hear that, Toad? Zero pocket boxing from Paddy Pimblett. Won't Toad be happy to hear that? Derek Lewis turned just stand up into just lay down strategy. Just lay down strategy. That's a fire of a twist. I know. Back in the day, Derek Lewis was like, "Your jiu-jitsu don't work on me, man," and he would just get back up for whatever reason he wants. But now Derek Lewis is like, "Your cardio ain't for me, man. Round two ain't for me, brother. I'm going down. I don't want to look bad in the cage." It's a song, Clueless. It's a song, Clueless. It's a jingle. It's not a whole song. It's a jingle, dude. It's a jingle. Do you train MMA, Dougie? Do you get enough time to train MMA with what you do with your job? I do not get enough time to train MMA. I'd love to, but I think I would only be able to do one night a week, like one Wednesday night session a week. And then also, I'm an old man, you know? I'm an old man. I'm an unk, and I'm a tradesman that has to employ himself. And if I get injured, if I twist myself up, if I fucking hurt my ankle, tear my ACL, if I get injured and I can no longer lift drywall sheets onto the wall and screw them off, I'm fucked, and I will not be able to pay my rent. So, very dangerous hobby for someone like me to have. As a Arman Tsarukyan, oh my god, chat's moving so quickly. As an Arman Tsarukyan fan, props to Dan Hooker for not cancelling the fight for being compromised. Without it, I really think Dana would have destroyed... Oh, without it, I really think Dan would have destroyed Arman without the headbutt in that fight. Without it, I really think Dan would... As an Arman Tsarukyan fan, props to Dan Hooker for not cancelling the fight for being compromised. Without it, I really think Dan would have destroyed Arman without the headbutt before the fight. Number one, well done to Dan Hooker for not cancelling the fight. Absolutely, Joe Swanson. Number two... I don't think there was any universe, any multiverse where Dan Hooker destroys Arman Tsarukyan. Headbutt or not, brother. What's up, Super Gamer? Good to see you, dude. How are you, Shyla? Sorry I can't stay. I like the stream. Well, thank you for liking the stream, Shyla. I appreciate it. You get off to bed. I tried to tell everyone about Paddy Pimblett. 100% pick rate with him. Well done, Toad. Well done. Well done, and I hope that you stay in the top 10 for the entire year of our live stream, Toad, so that you can brag to people when they call you crazy and slowly start suggesting that you've lost your mind, like I've been doing. I apologize, Toad. Arman is 30 IQ Giga Chad, basically. No brains, no critical thinking, just pure brute force. That's why I like him. He kind of reminds me of myself. Not really. But that is why I like him. Like, he doesn't need to do this, yeah? He's rich. He's got no brains. He doesn't really give a fuck about the UFC or the rankings. Like, he just wants to win the title. And he just does whatever the fuck he wants. It's really cool. It's actually really cool. I'm sure I've missed you talking about it, but what's your thoughts on the Sugar fight? To me, he clearly lost. How are you, Kyle? Good to see you, man. I went back and rewatched it, and I gave Sean O'Malley the first round. When I went back and rewatched it, I noticed Song Yadong pretty much whiffing on every single one of his shots. He had a couple of good combinations, and that was it. Whereas Sean O'Malley was really lighting up his legs and his body with the teep, like solid body shots he was kicking him with. So I gave the first round to Sean O'Malley upon rewatch, and then the second round to Song Yadong, and the third round to Sean O'Malley. I think he clearly won the fight. It's like 3 minutes long. Jingles don't last more than 20 seconds. Well then, I guess I'm the dunce. I guess I'm the idiot. It is a whole song. How can you expect Derek Lewis to stand back up when both his knees pointed in the wrong direction? Well, because he didn't really get sparked. He fell over too smelly, I reckon. Paddy got bitch slapped by Justin Gaethje. He did. So did Daniel Freeman, when Josh Hokett was on the back of him, slapping his ass. I have a black eye from an accidental headbutt last training session and had a date the next day. Oof, that I wouldn't mind too much, right? Like, I wouldn't mind that too much if I just had like a black eye or something, but an actual injury would be bad, would be really bad. Dana is still shitting on Tom at the press conference. What a joke. I don't know why Dana White hates Tom Aspinall so much. Yeah, it's very strange to me. I don't know what Tom did that makes Dana White hate him, but here we are. I'm 22. Can you tell me some good career transitions that gives you enough time to do MMA weekly? Oh, 22, huh? I guess you would have to do some sort of office work that gives you a work from home option. Because at 22, you know, you're not going to build up your own client list as a tradie. You'll still be working for someone else. So I guess becoming a tradesman, so regular trades hours are from 7 a.m. till about 3:30 p.m. So that gives you some time to do training afterwards. But you've got to be one of those guys that just accepts, like, if you get hurt, you're going to get hurt. Whereas you could work in an office job, but that's going to give you like a 9 to 5, and then you're going to be going to training at like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Unless you turn into a Chad and do early morning sessions, like go to the gym at like 4 o'clock in the morning and join the 6 a.m. sparring sessions. I don't know if any gyms run 6 a.m. MMA training, but if you're going to do an office job, I would say you would need to do early morning sessions. And if you're going to be a tradie, you would need to do the late afternoon sessions, but be aware that if you hurt yourself and you're a tradie, you're probably fucked. Arman is 50 IQ. Arman is about 50 IQ, true. If Tom can be on that phone, he can be in that cage at Dana White. So if Tom Aspinall can see the phone, why can't he see the punches coming? He needs to be on the cage. Based on the visuals, you saw my Think song won, but Sean landed the more meaningful strikes. I completely agree with you, Joe Swanson. Well, who's this cutie patootie? Hi, Fighters Club, how are you, mate? How can she slap, sir? But, sir, how can she slap? How can she slap? How are you, Timmy? Good to see you, man. How are you, brother? Good to see you, dude. Lewis is the type of guy that gets finished by Shamil the Blob Gaziev and then KO Hokit and Teixeira in the next 30 seconds. That's what I mean. Because it's heavyweight and half of them suck at striking, Derek Lewis is very much like, I'm just going to have a fucking crack. And if this works, it works. So he wades in there, has a go. If it doesn't work, he just gets a little dink on the chin and out he goes. Lewis looks like he threw the fight. He threw the fight, but he didn't throw the fight in like the gambling sense of the term. He threw the fight as in the like Kevin Holland, Bob Sapp sense of the term, where like he just didn't want to be there anymore because it was past his 5 minutes of cardio that he has. That's why I decided to not pursue kickboxing. If I get injured, I won't be able to work and I won't be able to afford the Dougie membership. That's the most important expense in your life, Muzzo. The Dougie membership and some Dougie merchandise. How are you, Meat Rocket? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Meat Rocket. Paddy is tough, I'll give him that, but he's clearly got rushed. Deadass thought he would win, though, because Gaethje, in my eyes, is a low level. I thought Paddy would win too, 37-year-old staff-riddled Justin Gaethje, who really only has big, meaty hooks over the top. I thought Paddy Pimblett would pepper him with the low shots, pepper him with the jab, dance around on the outside, and when Justin Gaethje did come inside to clinch, would be able to judo throw him to his ass. None of that was true. Paddy Pimblett stood there with his hands down and got the fuck beaten out of him. Tom wants to box after his contract ends. Either that or Tom's insulting Dana's boyfriend, John Jones, made him hate Aspinall. I mean, it's probably both, right? It is probably both. And also, Dana White hates when main events get ruined. So to him, Tom Aspinall ruined the main event by having his eyes clawed out by Cyril Gane, which makes all the sense in the world, obviously. And then, of course, there is the, like, he's the heavyweight champion of the world, and Dana White's always hated the heavyweight champion of the world because the heavyweight champion of the world can ask for more money, and Dana fucking hates that. And then, yeah, suggesting that John Jones is a duck, which John Jones is a duck, but how dare you say that about Dana White's little pookie. To be fair, in Dana's perspective, the doctors told him Tom was all right, and Tom's own doctors said that his eye was severely damaged. That is true. Like, Dana did hear from 3 doctors that Tom was going to be fine, so you can't blame him for saying that. What is up, Tim? Dougie's cunts, commies. My 25 years of counseling tells me Arman is a typical elitist kid. Displaying all the symptoms that nearly all the elitist kids display, he has been raped repeatedly by his parents and family. Whoa, Tim. I was on board with you from the top there, but that last section there is... he doesn't give me those kind of vibes, to be fair, mate. I feel like Dana went in on Tom for the clicks. Dana does know how to click farm, that is true. Thank you, Muzzo, for the $2, for the $1, man. I appreciate you, brother. No comment, just a straight up Muzzo tipping $1. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, dude. Some people that do trades tell me their knees are shot by the time they're in their 40s. Is that true, really? Some people's are. I train every day, like just at the gym, which I start off with 10 minutes of stretching and then do weightlifting. So I'm in fairly good nick for my age. But yeah, some people are cooked, yeah. 6 a.m. training is usually like the pros who schedule with the coach to be in that early for a technique to fit in their schedule. Sometimes a few like-minded guys will show up in the AM hours and it gets fun. That's cool. All right, yeah. So I think it all just depends on what job you're doing and how it can schedule into your day, right? A lot of Derek Lewis's career is the definition of a puncher's chance at the highest level. Essentially, yeah. But he'll play it every single time, and the odds have traditionally been in Derek Lewis's favor. No TTS. You didn't write anything. There was no comment there, brother. There was no comment there. The TTS is on, but You didn't write anything, so that's why it didn't read anything. But thank you for the $1, Muzzo. I appreciate you, man. Joe Swanson, do you remember me? Everyone does. 6 a.m. training is for psychopathic people. No, it's for people that have busy days, Feral Florida man. That's why I am at the gym at 5 a.m. I'm snowed in, Dougie. I've wanked 23 times today to Waldo Ateza-Costa's tits. Maybe try Shamil Gaziev's afterwards for a bit of a switch up, for a bit of flavor, something a little bit different, I would say. Impression of Derek Lewis thoughts during their fight. Man, this is going well, man. I'm going to knock his ass out. Oh, shit, I missed. What the time now? Man, we're getting on 7 minutes of this damn here fight. I'm going to get my bitch ass out of here. When I worked night shifts, 6 a.m. training sessions was elite sparring with an unk with crust in the eye. There you go. Get in there and beat the fuck out of some unk at 6 o'clock in the morning. It'll make you feel like a man. Dougie, can you do the Paddy the Batty song for the good vibes? Oh, Paddy the Batty. I low-key hated that main event. Felt like street beef fight. So low level between both of them. Ali, check out the video that I have coming out after this live stream. In about 45 minutes time, I'll be releasing a video that I think you are really going to enjoy, Ali. Missed most of the stream? No, we're about halfway through. Install driver. Meat Rocket is the biggest troll. We like Meat Rocket. Dana's presser made him look like a cokehead. Yeah, Dana's presser was bad. It was really bad. And I hated how Dana was just like, it's only $8 a month. Like, no cunt. It actually isn't. Dana gets super coked up and then looks for a new watch to buy the Nelk Boys and Steiny. I mean, Steiny had a great night at the fight, so what do you want me to say? Steiny had a great time. Dougie, do you know how far I would travel for a grilled cheese to the kitchen? That's not very far at all, Noob Cake. You should never be leaving the kitchen. For the next... I'm just playing. Well, not really, but, you know, it's a joke. It's a fun joke. For the next 7 years, Paramount will spam nothing but ads during the UFC events. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be watching them live. If the next Apex event is a shit show, I don't know if I'm going to be watching them live anymore. Are you a union member? I think they earn double in the trades. No, I work for myself within a small business, so I would be unioning against myself. Today is 43 degrees, and I'm just not working today. I don't need to be in the union. I need to get my ass back in the gym. I have to get up at 4 a.m. to make it work with my schedule these days. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. I used to get up at 4 a.m. and go into my garage and work out. If that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. 6 a.m. is when the coaches spar. That's an industry secret. Okay. All right. I didn't know that. There you go. I like late night training with high energy music and then a sleep in. Again, it's up to you and it's up to your schedule, guys. Like if you can make it work with late night training, you can make it work. But to me, I've got to be on a building site, 7:30, 8 o'clock. So to me, it's alarm goes off at 4:30. I'm at the gym by 5. I'm back home in the office by 6. I'm recording a video. Video's edited and uploaded by 7. Video's released by 7:30. Then I go to work. Then I come home. Then I do the stream. And that is essentially my life. I usually finish with work, like gym, work, streaming, YouTube. I usually finish with everything by about 6:30. And then I can have dinner and watch TV for 2 hours and go to sleep. I'm glad I only watched 2 fights on Saturday. Everything you guys have said, it was pathetic. I knew it would be. Look at the owner and the owners of Paramount. Are any of us surprised? No, I know, Tim. I knew it would be bad, but I really didn't think it would be that bad. Like the official TV slot started at 9:30 or 11:30. Anyway, it took 45 minutes for the first fight to happen. It was really bad, Tim. Even on the pay-per-view, it took half an hour for the first fight to happen. It was really, really, really bad. It's fully insane to say that Dan has a good chance of beating Paddy. No, that's not. No, Dan Hooker can maybe outwork Paddy Pimblett. Derek Lewis looks like the type of guy that's there for the check. Yeah, he is. Thank you, Muzzo, for the $3, man. I really appreciate you, bro.
At Tharm Mortso tipped $2.99 through Super Chat. Kion Farkin Sakeld Cuz Fair Dinkum Vegemite.
The TTS had no idea how to read Australian. Quaylen fucking Sal killed cars. Fair income fucking mate. Let's go with the fucking Vegemite cunt. There you go. Thank you for the $3, Muzzo. TTS reader does not know how to speak Australian. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you guys. If you want to get your Quaylen Sal killed merchandise, go over to the store tab. If you go to this channel, you go to videos, you go to lives, you go to playlists. Keep scrolling along until eventually you get to the store. Go to the store, open the link, get yourself some Quaylen Sal killed merchandise. You will not get it by this weekend. But hey, you'll have it for the next time Quaylen fights. Big W's in the chat for Muzzo. Thank you, man. Derek is the type of guy that's there for the check. Yep, true. I am with Josh Barnett. It was an embarrassing main event. I agree. It was embarrassing. It was. Dana White powdered. Dana powdered White. Noob Cake is making them at night. She's making the food at night. True. Imagine the Apex boxing on Paramount Plus. I haven't seen it yet. I'm interested to see how it looks. Super Shotgun. Can you do an impression of Lewis singing the Paddy the Baddy song? Oh, Paddy the Baddy. Oh, Paddy the Baddy. Apparently some amateur fighters would let me know if I am good enough and hopefully won't shatter a bone. Well, that is the thing, but you're putting a lot of trust in those guys. Like, you know how you guys talk about I'd be going in there beating the fuck out of like a 40-year-old grizzled vet unk that's just a tradesman bricklayer? That's me! That's me. I'm that grizzled old unk that's done a day of hard laboring and is now going in there to fight a 21, 18-year-old in some sparring. That's me. I'm that old unk that would be getting beaten up in the gym. And I don't, number one, I don't know if I have the time for that. And I certainly don't have the finances to fuck up my life that badly. So please like the stream if you cannot donate. 43 degrees, -3 here. We working, son. I like working in the cold because, you know, you get the body moving. You can put on a hoodie and some gloves and you just get it done. But just plastering, drywalling in like 111 degrees Fahrenheit, get all the way fucked. I'm joining a union for electricians, but only because all the business owners around here are all the business owners everywhere. What are the perks of a union? If you're on a union site, they will get you benefits like days off, picnic days. If it's raining, they'll get you off the site. Yeah, there are perks in a union on big building sites, but when you're a small tradesman that just works for yourself, there is no point. Dougie, do you dress like the village people while you're at work? I do dress like the village people. If it's too hot, I won't even have a shirt on. I'll just have me little khaki shorts on and me tool belt. Yeah, you going, love? I'm here to fix the hole. I'm kidding. All right? I'm kidding. Just calm down, sweetheart. It's a joke. Where do you fit the wanks into your schedule? I don't wank. That is why you have a woman. Have you knocked someone out or ever been knocked out before? And if so, how does it feel? Knocked someone out? Yes, I knocked out one guy in a basement once while we were having retarded boxing fights as children. We were like 17, 16 years old. I knocked out one of my friends. That was rather scary. And have I been knocked out? No. I have been hit very hard by a Mark Hunt-sized security guard once, but it did not knock me out. However, I was very concussed, and thank God my friends were there to drag me away from the bouncer, because the bouncer probably would have murdered me. I think Arman would beat Gaethje and maybe Ilya. But could Paddy be a threat? Good chin and elite jiu-jitsu. I think Arman could beat Gaethje and maybe Ilya, but could Paddy be a threat? Good chin, elite jiu-jitsu. Oliveira and Paddy might be Arman's hardest fights outside of Ilya. I don't think Paddy Pimblett is the level of Oliveira. I would say Oliveira is Arman Sarukian's biggest threat. I'm very interested in Arman versus Ilya Tibturo because the gator rolls of Arman on the ground, I think, is a better mixed martial artist than Ilya Tibturo is. I know Ilya's got a good base of jiu-jitsu, but I think Arman's just a higher level of it based on what I've seen in the UFC. Everything about Ilya's ground game seems to be essentially speculation. Bryce Mitchell was able to get him down, for instance. Charles Oliveira really didn't do much, but again, neither did Ilya. He sort of just scrambled back up. So there we go. Diego can be a title fight option for the White House too if he folds Volkan under a round. Ilya, Gaethje, Piotr Yan, and Diego. Yeah, there are a few options, Mitch. So the UFC really do seem to be pushing for like 6 title fights on the White House card. Where am I up to? Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. How are you? How are you, Sus Pasture? Good to see you. How are you, Cayman? How are you, MMA Master? Good to see you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Please like the stream. Impression of Scouser Kevin Holland. Do you even know the Paddy... Scouser Kevin Holland. Do you even know the Paddy the Baddy song? Huh? Nah, I'm in my ego. Unions in Australia are basically thugs and propaganda agents for the Labour Party and communism, free market capitalism. Thank God we still have the shining light of the free market in Russia. I agree, Tim. Yeah, there really is nothing good about the unions, especially when you just work for yourself. If I only ever went unconscious one time from sickness, I always wonder if getting KO'd would feel the same way waking up. I imagine it might, but there'd be a lot more pain in your jaw. Those are the best. Those level 1s with the wheel dude, that's crazy when I was a kid. Those are the best. That last level of, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, Feral Florida Man. I made UFC 324 and watch along massive. You did, Mr. C. You did. You had the best jokes on that one. My dad was loving your jokes. I was happy just to get in some fights after 6 weeks, but there's some off moments in that card. There was a lot of off moments in that card. A lot. Dougie would become world champion, decides not to. That's not what I said at all. That's not what I said at all. I've said very openly I'm a giant pussy. I don't want to hurt myself in training. If I hurt myself in training, I can't pay my rent, nor can I feed myself. I'm too scared to hurt myself. That's why I don't train MMA. I'm very open about that. Impression of a random Ecuadorian UFC fighter's daughter? No, Fighters Club, absolutely not. If I come to Melbourne, we'll get a cheeky spar in. I wouldn't mind having a cheeky spar with one of you guys. That's all right. But again, I don't want to hurt like myself permanently, but I'll have a bit of a scrap. You know, me and Nacho had a bit of a wrestle. How are you, Master? Good to see you. We have another pay-per-view next weekend, Dougie. Are you nervous for Volk? Not even a little bit. I couldn't be more confident that Volk is going to get this done. I'm coping. I'm fucking coping hard. Volk's absolutely going to get it done. There's nothing to be scared of. I will shit bricks this weekend's main event. I won't. I couldn't be more locked in, Cayman. Dougie got crushed and sat on by Guru at the MMA YouTuber event. It was a bad event for us. I spent the entire time running away from MMA Joey because he was going to fuck me up. Dougie doesn't get knocked out. Damn right, noob cake. What did you do to the bouncer? I don't remember. I was drunk. I was in his face about some shit. I don't remember. And he just fucking cracked me. I don't remember what it was. I remember being drunk and angry and lying. It was very late at night at a Melbourne nightclub. And he just fucking decked me once. So I don't know. I think Arman and Ilya is literally a 50-45, 50-50 fight. It's a very intriguing fight. Yes, any UFC champion versus Arman Tsarukyan is the most intriguing fight that can be made at the UFC. Please, UFC, do not let it be 2027 before Arman Tsarukyan fights the UFC champion for the belt. Please, UFC, please. Duggies don't get knocked out, lad. Corners don't get knocked out, lad. It's true, boys. We don't get knocked. We probably will get knocked out one day. Imagine if Arman was a bricklayer. Do you think he would make it to the UFC? Probably. I would say so. I mean, if he's mentally unstable enough to make it into the UFC while waking up in the silkiest of silk sheets in a silky private jet, silkily flying throughout the earth, then yeah, I think Arman Tsarukyan has got enough cojones to be a bricklayer and get into the UFC at the same time as well, brother. I do. I think Arman Tsarukyan can absolutely do it, man. Arman has that little man syndrome like Guru does. I don't think he does. Ouch, getting hit by Mark Hart clone can sting. I bet you can become world champion. Get to work, Dougie. It did fucking hurt. It did fucking hurt a lot. I'll tell you that. Arman is a much better striker than Paddy, and he could just take him down and rearrange his face whenever. Yeah, I think if Arman took Paddy down, he would fuck Paddy Pimblett up with just insane ground and pound. Bad noob cake. No sus pasture. I've never knocked anyone out, but I've put 3 people to sleep and made one guy who did flash KO me in an armbar and made him scream to be let go. To be clear, he snuck me like a bitch after threatening his girl. So he absolutely deserved it. I was a BJJ nerd at one point. Yeah, I mean, if he's going to be a dickhead with you install driver, you just give him a little crank on the arm and let him know who's boss. It was a robbery for the Chinaman. That's racist, Ricky Allen. His name is Song Yadong Ping Pong. No, it wasn't a robbery at all. Sean O'Malley won that fight. He won round 1 and he won round 3. That's the way the fight went. So it wasn't a robbery to the Chinaman. No, it was not. Song Yadong McPing Pong lost the fight. I got punched in the liver once. It was painful. Yeah, get it? Yes, I can. Yes. I've certainly I've been in a lot of brawls and it does hurt. Anywhere that they hit you, it fucking hurts. I thought Dana's comments on Tom's eye, do you think they'll make him vacate? Yes. Yes, Geordie, I do think they are going to make Dana White vacate. That is a fucking hilarious profile picture you have there, Geordie. Yeah, I think they're going to strip him. I think they're going to strip him for injury. Same thing they did with Jamal. Same thing they did with Yuri Prohaska. I think they're going to strip him. And I think they're going to have Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane at the White House with a vacated heavyweight title. Ilya is just a smarter man than Arman. I love Arman, but there's nothing he can do. Ilya is just too experienced at a high level. And high-level ideas and violence of action amongst other fighters is unmatched. That is an insane amount of glaze for Ilya Topuria against Arman Tsarukyan. There is nothing that Arman Tsarukyan can do, who is shown to have some of the best wrestling in the world at the moment, and Ilya Topuria was taken down by Bryce Mitchell and won some jiu-jitsu tournaments 15 years ago, and we haven't seen him do any jiu-jitsu in the UFC, really. I mean, there was maybe 1 or 2 fights on his come-up, but at this high level, we haven't seen any wrestling or jiu-jitsu from Ilya Topuria, and I'm an Ilya Topuria fan, but to be like, there is nothing that Arman can do, and Ilya is just insane and such a high level, that's that's a crazy amount of glaze for Ilya Tapuria. I feel like you might have gone just a touch overboard there. Impression of everyone playing around joke boxing and teenage Dougie sleeps his friend and flexes on everyone else. Oh, down around the game, mate, grab us a beer. Yeah! Yeah! Dougie forever. Doug, you fucking killed Bruce. Fuck him. So you were gay. Never was able to decide which one is more money hungry, corporate power, or a union. Unions, because unions will bully their way into politics. Although I guess corporates will as well. They're both the same, to be fair. It's all about controlled, respectful sparring. Going 100% is for clowns. I completely agree, installed driver. When I see Cheeto's fight style, I kind of get into it. I mean, Cheeto's fight style is awesome to watch, but it's not a high skill. It is a high skill level. I shouldn't say that. It's not a top 5 skill level. Like, Cheeto's not a top 5 fighter. Mikey Musumeci would get folded in one punch if he can't strap you down. It's true. It's true. Dougie admits to fucking Nacho. I said we had a bit of a wrestle. We didn't do the butt sex, okay? All right? It was just a little bit of a wrestle. All right? Just calm down, mate. Just calm down. Pastor Boy would be cooked. He would, feral Florida man. Cooked. I noticed you said every fight on this pay-per-view has an Aussie fighter and it feels like a fight night. Any correlation? No, Australian pay-per-views always feel like fight nights. We should have Israel Adesanya on this as well. We should have Robert Whittaker and Israel Adesanya, and then it will feel a little bit more like a pay-per-view. But this is just, the big-name fighters do not want to come down to Australia because they lose so much money in taxation. So yeah, they always feel like this, Mr. C. Run for MMA Joey for 2 minutes and he will pass out from exhaustion. I know he runs out of breath reading the chat. He's very, very fat. Impression of Dougie having a cheeky wrestling match with Nacho after a few beers and things are getting zesty. Fucking come here, you big cunt. Come here. Oh, hang on. That's rather nice. Elbows don't get knocked out. I've been knocked out 5 times, been dropped about 20. Multiple of those. What I've dished out, those were gym wars, not on the street. Yeah, there's a difference between a gym war and a street just punch up, isn't there? I feel like a gym war is a little bit more respectful. Dougie, I think Dougie, I think the only guy you could beat is MMA Joey. I could easily beat MMA Joey. That's easy. Do you think Ilya will fight Arman or find a way to dodge? I think he'll find a way to dodge and the UFC will assist him. Tai Tuivasa is back. Tai Tuivasa is back. Who's going to be picking Tai Tuivasa? You're insane. I tore a bicep in a kickboxing fight and I kept fighting. That's fucking crazy. That would be so goddamn painful. Well done, MMA Master. That is insane. People always say that amongst the trades, electricians are the most high paying. Apparently they make 100k plus. Yes, electricians are the most high paying trades out of all of them. This is true. Why would you ban me? I would never ban you, noob. Well, I might ban you, but I wouldn't ban you just for some reason because someone said ban noob cake. I wouldn't ban you for that. It takes a lot to get banned off this channel. There's only ever been one ban. As a sugar hater, Sean got around round 1. None of the song punches landed, unfortunately. Exactly. Like Sean O'Malley won round 1. That's why I'm locking in and stopping weed to become an electrician. Nice one, feral Florida man. Well, you just keep on your grind, brother. I hope you become an electrician. Liver shots fucking sucks. I'd literally rather get punched in the face. Fair. Are you a Torres Finney fan? Not really. Not particularly. Not at all. No. Yuri and Jamal chose to give up the belt. Did they? Did they, Bilal? Did they? Impression of Paddy being an absolute tard, swinging arm punches with 0 footwork while singing I'm a tard in an anthem in a gay voice. I am a tard. Thoughts on Umar's piss break performance? Dana ditched him like Andy did in Toy Story 2 for Woody. Yeah, it was shit. Umar's boring as fuck. I'm happy they buried him on the prelims. I'm happy he doesn't get any walkouts. I'm happy he doesn't get a post-fight conference. Fuck Umar. I actually make the best pastries. You probably do, noob cake. I'll just say this. Arman versus Charles and Ilya versus Charles. I'll just say this. Arman versus Charles and Ilya versus Charles. Yeah, that's a good comparison, but that's very like fight and maths rather than styles make fights. I think after the backlash, UFC will slow down with the ads because I don't know who is going to buy stuff from those ads when they shove the most important moments. It's negative marketing. They don't care. Paramount don't care if you buy the products. Paramount don't give a shit. Paramount care whether or not the advertisers pay to be on the space. So if the advertisers like Burger King give Paramount $1 million a quarter to be on Paramount Plus and you end up hating Burger King, Paramount don't give a fuck. There's another company that's willing to put their advertising there. I saw Nacho bump. No, you didn't. To say that Arman can't do anything to Ilya is a silly take. I'm confident Ilya has great grappling, but we have yet to see it tested. In all fairness, he hasn't needed it, but we still don't know. That's what I mean. Like, It's insane. Why do none of the MMA fighters kick out when they are in a bad mount position, but their legs are free? You do see them try and do that. You do see them try and buck quite a bit and get into a roll. But usually what you want to try and do is just turn onto your side and start building your base underneath you, because bucking does cause a lot of energy flex. Bilal wants to sit in the corner while Dougie gets his nut. That's disgusting. How drunk were you and Nacho when you guys were wrestling? Pretty drunk. It was the very end of the night, and security came running over to us because they thought we were actually fighting. It was kind of funny. The little Islam on my shoulder says we must check his grappling brother. Who has better cardio, Derek Lewis or Andrew Tate? Derek Lewis. Andrew Tate is a fraud. I never knew Australia used to get so hot. Does everyone have AC there? No, the pores do not have AC, but I have 2 air conditioners in my apartment. It's just, unfortunately, one's in the living room that you guys saw on the weekend stream, and the other one is in the bedroom, and the office is directly facing the sun with a giant window, and the sun beams into the office, and all the fucking aircon in the world will not save you from a 40-degree sun and glass windows. So it does heat up in here quite a bit. If Arman had Superior power, he would KO Charles as well. Will outstruck Charles comfortably. Yeah, we don't know about Arman's... Well, we do know Arman doesn't really have that crazy KO power, right? But he has got very, very good ground and pound. I want a box. I just don't have the money for it, unfortunately. How much does it cost for you to pay the gym to allow you to give you some sessions? I'm not going to name any names, but someone in the chat said Joey mogs you. Well, they're just retards. They're retards and they're wrong. Although you guys are very weird with like mogging. Like maybe Joey is taller than and bigger than me, so maybe that's mogging, but like in any other aspect of life, I mog Joey. Even though he has got 40k subscribers and I have 3, I still mog Joey just on fun content. Like my content's better than Joey's, like fucking categorically. It's not even arguable. Personality, I mog Joey. Fitness, I mog Joey. Humor, I mog Joey. So I guess like just all up aura, I destroy Joey. But yeah, I guess Joey is bigger than me, but Joey's bigger than a lot of people. Impression of drunk Dougie trying to have a drunk wrestling, but she denied. Impression of drunk Dougie trying to have a drunk wrestle, but she denies him, so he calls Bilal's good eye for an old-fashioned freaky wrestle. Come here, sweetheart. Come here, let's have a let's wrestle. Let's wrestle. And she's like, no, get the fuck away. I want Bilal's good eye instead. We want Bilal's good eye. Let's get back on track with this a little bit, chat. Max Holloway forward pressure. Let's get back on track just a touch with this. Where is Max Holloway? Max Holloway and his forward pressure. I don't think Max Holloway is all forward pressure, to be honest. I mean, he's definitely got forward pressure, but I don't think he's got, like, the most forward pressure imaginable. Where is Max Holloway? Max Holloway's got more forward pressure than Sean, I think. But I'm going to put him as, like, B tier, because he will just stand around on the outside, and he's happy to pepper with shots. Let me read some chats here. Khabib and Islam would like to have a word with you about what, Johnny? Impression of Umar trying to have a cheeky wrestling match with Zesty Dougie? No, we're not touching your kind. How you going, Ricky? Good to see you, man. Johnny5985 said it. Well, I'm going to ban him. Who has better cardio, Dougie or Nacho? And who has better zesty energy? I would say I have more zesty energy than Nacho has, but I've got better cardio. I've got better both. What do you do when your girlfriend is over and Wixon starts making muffled noises from his dungeon? I beat him harder and tell her to ignore it. Joey would power slam Dougie. Joey would not be able to do shit to me. Ilya has too good of an ability to land shots. You'll see one day I have that take for... Ilya has too good of ability to land shots. You will see one day. I don't have that take for the sake of negativity towards Arman. It's just out of recognition of Ilya's potential. Although I see how it could be considered disrespectful, I just mean he can't change the outcome. He may wrestle him for a bit, but it won't change anything. So you're insanely confident in Ilya Tapuria's knockout ability. So there is something that Arman could do to Ilya. There we go. We've changed a little bit, Nico. We've brought you a little bit more to the center. But yeah, you can absolutely believe in Ilya Tapuria's knockout power. You need to get blackout blinds for the windows. I have the same issue. The sun rises right into my living room. They still heat up. Like the sun, it's not the light coming through. It's the heat generated on the glass. So yeah, the blackout blinds do help. These ones are pretty good. They're not blackout, but they are pretty good. But even in the bedroom, the heat generates through. I have blackout curtains in the bedroom. The heat still generates through them. It's just the aircon in the back of the apartment is in the bedroom, not in the office. Apparently, MMA gyms are really cheap, $100 to $150 a month. After some months of training, the gym's coach, they give you some amateur fights. That's cool. All right, I would absolutely do that if this became my job. Like the stream, please, guys. Maybe you like around 150. I have bills to pay. I don't have any leftover money. That is fair. At most, Joey is 4'11". True. Dan Hooker is such a bum of a thing. How was he a bum of a thing? He got headbutted. You need a pocket boxing tier list. We will need to do a pocket boxing tier list. What happened to the MMA GOAT tier list? We finished it, brother. Here it is. This is the best legacy. It stopped being a bit of a GOAT tier list and turned into the best legacy in the UFC. The top 30 UFC fighters who has the best legacy. And these are the best legacy that these guys accrued. To be fair, Max Holloway doesn't use his range as much as he could and he should. He does use his range quite a bit, but he does stay on the outside. Although I wouldn't say he is like Israel Adesanya, who is like negative forward pressure. He does do forward pressure, just not as much as some of the other fighters that we could talk about. What about Joshua Van? How much forward pressure is Joshua Van? Joshua Van is a lot of forward pressure. In the boxing, works out well for him as well. Doesn't get wobbled as much. More forward pressure than Nate the Train, I reckon. Is Joshua Van more forward pressure than Matt? I think he is. Yeah, Joshua Van. A lot of fucking forward pressure from him. And Pantoja was actually pressuring Joshua Van. So you'd have to say Pantoja is higher forward pressure than Joshua Van, because he was the one actually pressuring Van. In fact, it was him pressuring Van so much that caused Van to grab the kick and tip him over, allowing Van to fairly win the fight. So Pantoja is more forward pressure-esque than Joshua Van is. That's a fun thing that I've said there, chat. That's a very fun thing that I've said there. Holy yap. That's kind of what we're doing here, Fighters Club. We're having a bit of a yap, brother. We're just yapping away, you know? It's an MMA live stream. And on an MMA live stream, you're gonna yap a little bit. What do you think Max Holloway's biggest hole is in his game? His head movement. He's constantly getting hit in the face. Dougie's thoughts on getting a tarantula? Disgusting. It's giving me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about that. I've got to check for spiders. There's one up there in the corner. I must kill him. Dougie, I work as a manager at Power Slap. I can set up a match between you and MMA Joey if you want. I'm in. Michael Chandler is pretty forward pressure. Oh my god, he is. Michael Chandler is very forward pressure. Until he gets backed up because he's getting the shit beaten out of him. See, the reason Yuri is going to live at S tier on forward pressure is because when Yuri is getting the shit beaten out of him, he'll continue with the forward pressure. He won't back away. Where Chandler, once he starts getting the fuck beaten out of him, he will start to run away. Like, he was literally running away from Paddy Pimlich in their fight. So Chandler definitely suffers a little bit. So Chandler is probably going to go. He's more forward pressure than these blokes, but he will jump on the back foot once that forward pressure doesn't start to work, which is inevitably going to happen. Can you read the top 10? The top 10 what, Noob Cake? The top 10 what? Isn't Marab a pressure fighter? Marab is a very pressure fighter. That is true. Adam will get him on this list. If I was you, I would just pay an Aboriginal fella to put me to sleep while playing a didgeridoo every night. That's a good idea. Just serenade me with whoa, whoa, whoa. When is the best Legacy tier list video coming out? When I have the time to do it. I want to know who they are. Oh, you're talking about the best legacies in the UFC, Noob Cake. These are the top 10 best legacies in the UFC. You have got BJ Penn. BJ Penn, who was an older era fighter, 2-weight champion, fought across all the divisions, insane. Max Holloway, who is a single weight class champion, but is considered to have one of the best chins in MMA and has just done a phenomenal amount of work that I shan't get into today. Alexander Volkanovski, who is the best featherweight of all time and broke the record for old men to win back the belt. Matt Hughes, who is the second best welterweight of all time. Some people consider Kamaru Usman to be the second best welterweight of all time, but I disagree. I would say it's GSP, then Matt Hughes, then Kamaru Usman. Islam Makhachev, who is currently maybe the most skilled MMA fighter that has ever walked the earth, however, hasn't had the correct dance partners in there to really build up one hell of a legacy, even though he is now a 2-weight champion in the UFC, which is very impressive. Then you have got GSP, who is the greatest welterweight of all time, and welterweight is the hardest division in UFC history. Alex Pereira, Alex Pereira, who has just come in from kickboxing and absolutely fucking sped run shit. It's insane what Alex Pereira has been able to do. You have got Randy Couture. Randy Couture is just an old school legend of the UFC, two-weight champion, was able to do it at an old age, dominant for years and decades and millennia. Anderson Silva. It's so hard to say what Anderson Silva is. Anderson Silva has just won everything ever. And then John Jones, who is the GOAT, two-weight champion, the GOAT, insane win streak, been a champion forever, still a champion. Well, not still a champion to this day, was a champion last year, the youngest man to ever become a UFC champion. He's insane. He's actually insane. What John Jones was able to achieve is insanity. There we go. Do you think Van beats Manel? Do you think Van beats Cap? I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I think Van can beat Cap, but I also think Cap can beat Van. So that's a bit of a cop-out, but I'll have to think about it. Of course, the gayest fighter in the UFC history is number one. Unfortunately, he is also super gay. Super gay and super zesty, unfortunately. That's kind of just one fight. That's MMA maths. Yeah, that is just MMA maths. Dougie, when are you going to start the legacy tier list? We've done. One thing I think curses Arman is that the fight is always pressured to be booked for 5 rounds. I just don't think Arman can survive 5 rounds. Look how Ilya last built up steam against Max. It was scary. Yeah, I mean, 25 minutes to not get destroyed is a very long time. However, Max did win one of the rounds. I think Max won round 2 or round 1. I think he won round 2. And you have to remember Alexander Volkanovski won round 1 against Ilya Topuria as well. But no, you are right. 25 minutes to not get hit with one of Ilya Topuria's bombs is insane. However, will Ilya Topuria carry that knockout power in the 4th and the 5th round if Arman Tsarukyan has been doing some heavy grappling with him? I just think Ilya cuts through any style. Okay, that is fair. I think you're a massive Ilya fan. I don't know about the wrestling. He might be the GOAT. I think you are a massive Ilya fan. Thank you so much, Nico, for the $2.
Nico doesn't know 3,499 tipped $1.99 through Super Chat.
Thank you,
$2
brother.
for Ilya Glaze.
$2 for the Ilya Glaze. There is a lot of Ilya Glaze there. He might be the GOAT. You've really gone and put a spit shine on Ilya Topuria. And I don't blame you. I like Ilya. I'm not trying to shoot you down. But yeah, you're definitely hardcore fangirling over Ilya Topuria right now. You have to pull it Juliana and Valentina at S tier. I wouldn't put them anywhere near this list. Charles versus Max will be very interesting. I'm wondering how his grappling will work. You know, on tomorrow's stream, we're going to have to do a roll call for Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway because I need a new roll call slide at the end of my videos. Also, guys, at the end of this stream, there is going to be a really... this video is really good. I know when I film a video, like, yeah, this is a good video. So, yeah, at the end of this stream, video will be dropping. Dougie, what is the biggest spider you've seen in Australia? Something like that. Like the size of a fucking hand. I was talking about Nico's. Yeah, fair enough. Dougie, what do you think Zesty Dougie's biggest hole is? Wouldn't you like to know? Wouldn't you want to find out? Don't forget, Chandler ran a marathon across the octagon against Charles Oliveira. That's true. He did run from Charles Oliveira as well. What kind of spider is in your house? A moderately sized black one. If Arman didn't fracture his nose, Hooker would have done him with the Hooker would have done him with the would have done to his mind. No, Hooker would not have done that to him. It's like, as in currently what spiders? Well, there are just some spiders, and just little black ones are in the top corner. It's Ashmahed, the Islam versus Arman rematch. It's a shame. It's a shame. The Islam versus Arman rematch. I've skipped too far ahead now. Where am I? It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame Islam versus Arman rematch got cancelled. Would have been a sick fight. I know. I need to see a UFC lightweight champion take on the #1 contender. I need to see it. Why do you reckon Guru released the next Maker video? Why do y'all reckon Guru didn't release the next Maker fight video? I think because he's working on the Bryce Mitchell camping vlog, and whenever MMA Guru has to do literally anything other than go live and make a video, he considers that a very, very big day. Setting up the background took him months and months. Playing a video game on stream, which is as easy as right-clicking on your screen and going to add window. he's never done that. Yeah, Guru, Guru's a slow-moving mountain. Some Aussies leave the spiders in the house since they eat the more problematic insects like roaches and mosquitoes and such. Not me. I bug bomb the entire fucking house. There is no way I'm keeping a spider in my house, especially not an Australian spider. All right, let's not be racist. Ilya's dick is glistening, right? Absolutely fucking glistening. Glistening. Gene Silver, very forward pressure fighter, but where does he rank compared to the other forward pressure fighters? Gene Silver, insanely forward pressure. Even when Diego Lopez is elbowing the fuck out of his head, Gene Silver is still... But he does play the tappy-tappy game. Like Dalby, Gaethje, Yuri, they're only landing on you when they're forward pressure. Ilya... Panto, yeah, he does play a bit of a tappy-tappy game. I'm actually having a hard time putting Gene Silver any higher up than where he is now. Because a lot of it is... And then he'll rock it in with a spinning elbow and go crazy. Honestly, no bias, but Arnold Allen beats Silver. That's a lot of bias. And no, he didn't. No, he did not. Yeah, so I'm going to put Ilya, Gene Silver there. Yeah. Ilya fangirls loves knows no bounds. I know Ilya fangirls love Ilya no matter what, but that's all good. Hooker just needed to go for the buggy choke, mate. Mate, he just had to go for the octopus guard, mate, and get out of it. Wouldn't have been hard, mate. Just get a bit of an octopus guard. Rewatching the Edgar vs. Holloway fight to see how Max deals with heavy grapplers. Honestly, I don't know if I can use it because Edgar is just so small compared to Oliveira. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we haven't really seen this fight before. Like, someone who is about the same height and size as Max Holloway be grapple heavy. I guess the best one that we've got is Brian Ortega. But Brian Ortega is a lot smaller than Max Holloway. And Brian Ortega decided that he was going to stand up and try and outbox. I don't know what the fuck Brian was thinking in that fight. I think it's because Brian had just gotten a knockout. He fell in love with his hands. So, yeah, not the best fight to go off. I'd keep an Aussie spider. Disgusting. Dougie, is that just a gay... Dougie is just that gay guy, man. Dougie is just that guy. Thank you, brr. I appreciate you, and I can't believe I screwed reading that up so badly. Who knows? Maybe the Aussie spiders can become Spider-Man? Probably not. The only thing that would make Ilya better is if I found out that he was part Serb. Then we'd be really... Then I'd be one... Then if he was part Serbian, I'd be like, you know what? Everything that you've said is 100% correct. Gene is a solid A when he wants to be, but he can also be a B. A lot of it is finding his timing. That's what I mean. Like, he can be a ferocious forward pressure fighter, but he is very in and out, in and out, in and out. Let's do Volk, because Volk is very similar. Volk is very, very similar. In fact, Volk is lower down the pressure. Especially like modern Volk, old man Volk. I don't think he's as forward pressure as he used to be. In fact, Volk might go all the way down here. I think we're going to see a very controlled, picking his shots Alexander Volkanovski. Not like a war Volkanovski, you know? So, yes. I think we're going to see a very, very like controlled Alexander Volkanovski. Sean Strickland. DDP is forward pressure. DDP is insane forward pressure. Dricus Duplessis in the UFC, baby. Dricus Duplessis in the UFC. Dricus Duplessis in the UFC. Nate the Train. More forward pressure than Gene Silver. I'm going to move Ilya down as well. Again, Ilya sort of measures his shots, where Dricus, forward, march is the battle cry. I mean, he literally jumped over Sean Strickland's shots. He's jumping over Sean Strickland's guard to apply the pressure. That's forward fucking pressure, chat. That is insane forward pressure, that is. Jumping over the shots. Gene is a solid A when he wants it. We just did that one. Allen was jabbing his bloody nose off, mate. And established octagon control. Oh, of course. Octagon control. How could we forget about control time? How could we forget about the all-important control time? Because control time means so much, chat. Control time means so much. Control time is like the most important scoring criteria. The scoring criteria of MMA. The control time is all the way at the end. Impact is the most important thing, and control time is literally the last thing that anyone ever does. Anyone ever scores is control time. But yes, we must glaze Arnold Allen's use of control time. Of course we must. Insane. Impression of Ortega saying, I'm glad you asked, while the media asks him about the Eagle story. So, Brian, can you tell us a little bit more about the Eagle? What was that story about? I'm glad you asked, man. 1,000%. You know, the Eagle, after it gets dumped by Tracy Cortez, has got to break its dick off and rebuild it. Patty is a lightweight Ortega. No. No. Patty's been pretty much stand-up most of his career. He has mixed it in with the jiu-jitsu, but no. Brian Ortega was like mostly jiu-jitsu and then got a knockout and then fell in love with his hands. Gene beat Arnold 29-28. I first watched it, I had 30-27, but second watch it was 29-28. Yeah, 29-28 seems fair to me. Patty versus Conor at the White House. No chance at all. I don't know why the fuck Ariel is just making that shit up. I don't know why Ariel is doing that, but no, it is not going to be Patty versus Conor at the White House. I'll give Gene a draw at best. Too bad. It's not up to you. Drickus is pure forward pressure. He is. Like, Drickus doesn't know backward pressure. Conor would probably give Patty a good old spanking. I think Conor versus Patty would be a approachable fight for Conor McGregor. What's the world on the final top 30? Did I miss the ending? All right, here's the top 30, mate. They're all there, ready to go. There's the bloody top 30 for you, mate. Stick that up your cloaca. There's the top 30 right there. It's good stuff, it is, mate. It's good stuff. Yair is still hiding, Dougie. His last fight was in April. This motherfucker is so elusive. He had a broken hand in December, remember? Or was it November? Either way, he's milking the broken hand excuse like Arnold Allen did. I think Gene clearly beat Allen, but we can all agree on Allen being a pop star, beating pop star. Yes, we can all agree that Arnold Allen beat Movsar Evloev. I just fucking hate Gene Silva. So do I. I didn't know living in the past with Arnold Allen. I miss old Arnold Allen. Brother, this isn't right. Control time is Allah's. Well, control time is literally worth sweet fuck all. In fact, when you read the scoring criteria word for word, you only ever look at control time in insanely rare scenarios. Otherwise, you don't bother looking at control time at all. It's only for the most rarest of occasions do you look at control time. Brother, this isn't right, man. I just read that one. Dougie, do you ever watch wrestling? No, noob cake. No. I'm straight. I'm a straight man. Noob cake. Dougie has been seeing Craig Jones's Octopus Guard videos. I want to know, what is the Octopus Guard? We all hate Gene Silva. I agree on the Volk take. Well, thank you, Install Driver. I appreciate that, Install Driver. That's so nice of you to agree with me on the Volk take. And it's going to be a hell of a weekend. And we might do a Fighter Matrix tomorrow for Diego Lopez and really see if we can piss off Nacho. That would be fun. Another Fighter Matrix just to annoy everybody. Num. Absolutely delicious if we could do that. Nobody said anything about dogs, bro. What are you doing, bro? What's up, cuz? What's happening, bro? What's happening? Boys, I'm out of here. That's an hour and a half. It's been a great stream. We've done great MMA content. We kept it MMA related this stream. Well done. Not a short stream at all. Hour and a half stream. Plus, there is also a 20-minute video right now recapping everything that happened in the month of July when it came to UFC on Paramount. I think you guys are really going to enjoy this video. It's a nice little time capsule about the month that we just lived through. So please go and watch that video. Give it a like. Give it a comment. I think it's a really, really good video that encapsulates the way this month has gone down. Gene Silva is annoying, but I hate Yair more. We absolutely do hate Yair more. See ya, Adlai. See ya, Dinger. Thanks for being here. Just lurking, man. I appreciate you. To all the guys that just listen to this in lurk mode, I appreciate all of you. To everyone that goes back and listens to this as a podcast, I appreciate you. Impression of Trump saying, not a short stream. Actually, it wasn't a short stream. It was a really long stream. Australian stream. Massive stream. One of the best streams ever. Bilal Ishmael. Ishmael. Two smelly fingers. I'm going to give you a phone call. I have my lunch, brother. Let's chat on the phone. I'll give you a phone call in about 5 minutes. Let me just make my lunch and then I'll give you a call. Yeah. Good times. I'm out of here, chat. I really appreciate all of you. Huge stream. American stream. See you to Chile. Much love to Chile. Shout out to Chile. Much love to the Americans. Much love to the Europeans. Much love to the Aussies. I appreciate all of you guys for being here. Best chat on MMA YouTube. Thank you guys. Go and check out the video. I appreciate you guys. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.